How are you doing today, Dana?
I'm doing good. I'm having a good day so far. Weather's nice and
Sweet. Did you know? So, my sister was telling me this. Was it yesterday or 2 days ago? She was like, "Hey, did you know it's Or she told me, she said, "Happy Hispanic Heritage Month." I'm like, "What? I didn't even know about it."
I didn't either.
Yeah. Also, for some reason, like we don't celebrate it. I don't know. I just never celebrate.
It's one of those things where it's like, if you start celebrating your month, then it just means you get 1 month. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
Hopefully, it's Hispanic History Year all the time. You know?
Yeah, but this should be cool because also on the funny thing, like on September 16th, that's Mexico's Independence Day.
Yeah.
And it's not Cinco de Mayo, which it doesn't matter for me. I know some people like this year, they'll say, "Hey, happy Cinco de Mayo and Independence Day." I'm like, we don't celebrate that. They're like, really?
Mexican Independence Day, I caught this year because Bud Crawford had a big fight with Canelo Alvarez on Mexican Independence Day, and he's from Omaha, so that's our guy right there.
Snap.
Yeah, Bud's our man. So
we lost.
It was tough. It was
good fight.
Good fight. Canelo's a heck of a boxer. So yeah, Bud is just a dog.
Yeah, I was just joking with my wife about right before the fight. I said, "Hey, I should post money on it." I never do that.
Yeah.
But I was like, he always wins, and I was like, what if we put like our life savings and everything?
Yeah.
Good thing I didn't do that.
Yeah, I called my mom and I was like, "Hey, are we betting the house yet?" She said, "We're already max bet on Bud, Dana." So
no, this is cool, but no, it's been I'm gonna say like a hell of a week. Actually, I don't know. I've been feeling a little. I was kind of sick a few days ago, but I feel a little. Have you ever felt where, there's a situation where you know it's bad and you want to speak up on it, but you don't know if you should because you're scared of these are consequences.
Yeah. I have a loose tongue, so I oftentimes talk out of turn. But I do know that feeling. Yeah, I think everybody has to, right? Mm-hmm. There's always an anxiety with putting yourself out there, saying something, So.
Yeah, it's been like that. There's something going on, and I want to say something. I've been calling some people too. I'm like, "Hey, should I say this? Mention it? It's not like a bad. I'm not gonna like criticize. Well, kind of, but and a lot of friends, and they're like, you should speak up. It's don't be scared. Don't be this and that. I'm like, all right, maybe I should. But I don't know. It's been troubling me actually for like past few months. Well,
do you want to say it live on the radio here?
Technically, I would. So this situation, I'll tell you after. Because some people do know it. I cannot say it on here.
Okay.
But I'll tell you after.
Okay, cool.
I'll give you the thing. But people know about it. But enough about me, man.
Sure.
So Dana, tell me, what do you do, man?
Right now I own and operate a food truck in Vermillion, South Dakota called the Duck and Cat. And we're just getting started with it. So prior to that, I've been a lot of different things in my life. I was a high school teacher for many years. That was my first profession coming out of college. And then I was also a debate coach. I moved on from that, and then I did a lot of odd jobs after that. I was a card dealer at a casino. I worked in the shipping and receiving in the tech industry. And then eventually during COVID, I found my way to cooking and worked through some soup kitchens and things like that. And then most recently, before starting the food truck, I was a caregiver for my dad who was sick and had Alzheimer's disease. And so when he passed at the end of May, we decided that we needed a new venture, a new fresh start, and I needed to either find a job or make one. So we went ahead and started doing this crazy food truck thing. It's been a wild trip so far.
When did you guys start it?
What was the date? I couldn't say, but I think we're not 2 months into actually having our first opening. Was the end of July, I believe. Yeah. So we've had August and then most of September here. So we're coming up on 2 months. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. I saw you guys. Yeah. A few months ago first, I saw it on Facebook.
Yeah.
And people kept talking about it. And then you were at the farmer's market for the first time.
That was the first one. My nieces and nephews dragged me out there. We had a family vacation scheduled that week prior to even all of the stuff about buying the food truck and all of that. Even before my dad passed, we had that vacation scheduled. And so then once we had this new toy, they were like, we got to go play with it.
Nice.
So they were like, you got to make sure and be open by the time we come. So they kind of set the opening date at the farmer's market. And since then, we've just tried to hit the ground running as hard as we can, you know.
So are you a trained chef or did you learn on your own?
A little bit of both. I you know, like everybody, like I learned at the right hand of my grandma and my mom, I feel like, watching them cook stuff. I also was of my brothers, the designated cook for whatever. I warmed stuff up in the microwave or made grilled cheese sandwiches when we were little guys. But after I decided I was going to join the culinary industry, the food service industry, I was like 40 years old. It was during COVID. And so I had a little bit of time and I decided to go to culinary arts school. So I went to Metropolitan Community College in Omaha, the Institute for Culinary Arts there. And it was an incredibly good decision. It's like a great place to learn and have a lot of good mentors there that I still am in touch with and good friends that I met there. And so, yeah, I'd have a little bit of formal training and a little bit of family training. And then, of course, the best training for being a cook is the only training you can really do, which is by getting in there and being in the fire a little bit. So,
yeah. So my wife, she's been thinking about the culinary school stuff.
Yeah.
So she loves food. Like we don't go out much to eat. So she's always cooking like new stuff. She likes that stuff, but she's one of those people that are very passionate about it.
Mm-hmm.
I will eat it. If she tells me what to do, I'll do it. That's what we were doing when we were like a few years ago. We had like a little tiny food stand selling tacos around here. And at the flower farm too, it was fun. And sometimes, hopefully we'll hit up and do the tamales stuff at the brewery.
Come on now. You're speaking my language.
There you go.
Mexican food's one of my favorites.
I'm telling you. I'm not bragging, but it's because she's been there or she lived there for 25 years. And I'm telling you, the food is, but she's like, it's super authentic. She'll make, regular, your normal tacos, tamales, pozole. She makes some sope. She makes it all that. Like, and then the flour tortillas by hand. Funny thing. So Saturday, because she always makes flour tortillas. And then she told me, she says, do you want to learn how to make them? Like just rolling them up. I'm like,
sure. Yeah,
I'll do it. And man, it was way harder.
Than it looked.
Yeah. They come out like squares and everything. And I was getting kind of frustrated. I'm like, this isn't good. She said, no, you just practice and this and that. Yeah. So she's showing me and I'm trying to pay attention. And then, the last, like 3 of them out of like 25, they started coming out round. I'm like,
okay. Yeah. I had a similar experience working with tortillas. I was trying to learn how to make corn tortillas and I didn't have a wife who had, the technique for that. But basically what I started doing was watching instructional videos from like Mexican abuelas, right? Just
there
like
you go.
the grannies down there. And then, watching them grind the corn and then form it and make it and all of that. And then you try to do that and it's just everywhere. It's sticking to your hands. It's all this. And it's just like, okay, part of, I think what great chefs can do, and I would call all those folks great chefs, is that they can make a hard thing look easy. They can make it look effortless in some way. And so Mexican food's some of my favorite food. I mean, when I was learning to make tortillas the first time, I decided I needed to go through the whole process. So we literally ground it from dry corn.
Yeah.
I used a food mill and then the whole nine's got the stone out and so we learned the meaning of the daily grind.
There you go. Did you do that process of what do they call it?
Nixtamalization.
Yeah. Dang, that's some hardcore stuff. This episode is brought to you by 5 Star Barbershop. Are y'all guys looking for a place to get a haircut? I recommend 5 Star Barbershop. They're the #1 barbershop in the southeast region of South Dakota. From haircuts, beards, eyebrows, shampoo, you name it. They also offer discounts for students and athletes. I will add their link so you can make an appointment because they get very, very busy. Now let's get back to it.
Yeah, I mean that's part of what I love about food is there is like a cultural exchange, there's a connection, but then there's also the easy way to do something. And the easy way can get you the good product, but if you can try to do something the hard way, sometimes you can get that next level thing. So, and that's what we're doing with the food truck too. You know, a lot of what we're doing is trying not to take the path of least resistance. We're trying not to use the Cisco truck. We're trying not to use pre-prepared, pre-made stuff. So, or at least within reason, you know?
Yeah.
And so when people come to the truck, hopefully they know that we went out and bought the food. You know, we tried to go find somebody with an actual face that's growing it. And then we tried the best as we can to take that whole food and turn it into something that you can buy at our truck. So it's a little bit of maybe a backwards approach to most of the ways people do food trucks. You know, I think a lot of times people think of food trucks as like mobile fast food carts or whatever. And we're just trying to do our own thing, you know, trying to make something really good and support local farmers and make ourselves feel good while we're cooking, hopefully a little bit at least.
Sweet. How was the flower farm with that fall festival?
It was amazing. So for those of you that don't know, Flourish is a flower farm. It's out by Elk Point and just a little bit outside of Vermillion. And they have a pick your own flower farm. I had gone out there on a couple dates with Jackie, my wife, and we fell in love with it immediately. They did a little fall festival. And so there was a bunch of people out there. They were selling pumpkins, picking flowers. There was a couple other food trucks out there selling pastries and coffee and drinks and stuff like that. And so we had a really awesome day. My niece and nephew came up and helped us out, and that was really cool. And then in the craziest turn of events of all, the person that owns the flower farm is also a pilot.
Oh yeah, Chad.
Yeah. So Chad took us up. Chad took us up on his plane with my niece and nephew. So we got a free plane ride, and he was doing stunts and pulling crop dusting runs and all kinds of crazy stuff while we were out there. So it was like we got a free roller coaster ride as well, which is another one of the things I also just love about doing the food truck is like we've met so many cool people. You know, We've had a chance to meet people like out at our bar farms. We're working with them a ton. We just went down and got pumpkins down from the Norse farms. We just have been all over the place, you know, sourcing bison and ducks, and just it's been cool to just go out and try to make all the connections, you know.
What's how did the ribs rods go for y'all?
Ribs and rods was our best single selling day so far. So it wasn't, you know, it wasn't crazy. We didn't get, we didn't like make $1 million or anything. Yeah.
One day.
But it was a good day for us. And we had a really positive reaction to the food. And yeah, it was also a lesson to me. Ribs, we originally started out and we were hoping to be able to smoke whole racks of ribs. And we got through about our first dozen racks, and I sort of started looking at the timeline and was like, okay, we do not have a big enough operation to be able to do this. So
that's good though.
I feel like one of the most important skills of being a cook is being able to adapt and change. And so we switched over to doing these chopped rib sandwiches, and I think it ended up being good for us because we weren't selling the same thing as the person next to us and the person across the street. And then we also did these corn ribs, which ended up being, I think, like the thing that was having people come back and, or that they were showing to their friends and saying, hey, did you see this? You know, and it's really simple preparation. It's just a fried corn rib that you cut a particular way, but it opens up, it takes seasoning really nice. And so I think that was kind of the item that made people come back, if that makes sense.
So how do you decide what your menu is going to be like?
Well, that's been a huge part of our struggle. Like when we started, we sort of on our website, we put our aspirational menu. You know, I was like, this is what we would like to do. And then as we started doing it, we're like, okay, we can definitely have these things as our menu of options, but I don't know when it's going to be that we're going to be able to have everything online all together, you know? So what we've been kind of doing right now is we've been taking like a staple item. So the most common one for us is our Danish hot dog. You know, it's really good product. We can have a ton of them on the truck, and it really fits the kind of style of food that we're presenting. We do them in a Danish style. So it's the way that the Copenhagen food trucks sell them. So it's got pickled onions and bread and butter pickles and fried onions. And then we make a garlic confit. So we roast this garlic down in its own oil, and we turn that into a mayonnaise, basically. Mm-hmm. So it's a really garlicky mayonnaise, and we use a horseradish mustard on that. So that's pretty much been on the truck. Pretty staple. And then we've been trying to do something that's on theme with the events that we've been doing. So for Ribs and Rods, we did the chopped rib sandwich. For the Flower Farm, we did this Foragers box, which is sort of a mixed snack box that's garnished with all edible flowers and all kinds of stuff. So it's got a bunch of things that we just thought people, as they were spending the day out there, could kind of come back and snack on and things like that. So we're trying, and then we have Oktoberfest coming up here. So we're going to do our Danish hot dog, but then we're going to do a more German style bratwurst and things like that. And then we've been doing a ton of catering too. So our most popular item for our catering has been a thing called a frikadiller, mm-hmm. which is a Danish style meatball. So it's essentially a onion and brown butter flavored meatball. And those have been really popular for catering events. They're, easy to make in large numbers. They hold well and things like that. So there'll be times when you might see the hot dog and the meatballs and stuff like that. And then we also do at least one sweet item, which is called an æbleskiver. And that's what my grandpa and grandma would make for Christmas for us. Christmas morning, they would make these little round Danish pancakes. And then you put powdered sugar and butter and just whatever you can to make them taste good on there.
Oh, snap. Now I'm getting hungry.
And so we've been doing those. For the Flourish Flower Farm, we did caramel apple æbleskivers. So we topped them with baked apples and caramel and cream, and they were pretty sinister. They were good.
Do you have is there a goal with this, or just going with the flow?
So, I mean, the original goal is to not have a boss, and to try to do something for ourselves, to be in creative control. Bricks and I, my partner and I, in the kitchen, are both creatives. So, it's good for people like us to have control over what we're doing. And then also, my wife is involved. She's also a highly creative person. She's been doing most of our social media and stuff like that. Cool. So I feel like it was kind of a way for us to put into play a lot of this stuff that we've been working on, and try to have it help support us, And then the other main goal of this is to honor a few people in my life. My dad and brother in the last several years have both passed. And so the name, the Duck and Cat, is literally a nod to them. My dad's nickname in college was the Duck. And like I said, he passed in May of Alzheimer's disease. And then in 2023, January 23, my brother passed unexpectedly. And he was just like a great outdoorsman, incredible fisherman, and his favorite fish to catch, ironically, was the catfish. So, cool. So we decided that when we were going to do this, that, the number one thing people are going to do is ask you what your name means, or why did you call it that, or whatever. And so we wanted to make sure when people asked that question that we got a chance to tell them about my dad and brother. And so if at the end of the day, the only thing we can do is honor them, that's a huge part of it.
Wow. Yeah. Man, you guys are like inspiring me. You and I don't know what it's been like, but like the past few guests, a lot of them that I've talked to, they had some job, and then they made like kind of like a risky decision to pursue something. Yeah. Like today I just uploaded one. Her name is Melinda Strong. She is if I remember right, she opened up a dance studio in North Sioux City called 568, and it was like one of the first ones in that area. And she was doing radio before, or journalism, something like that. And I was asking her, like, were you kind of like scared? She's like, a little bit. And then now it's like so successful and this and that. I was talking with, there's another guy named Luke. He owns a lawn care.
Mm-hmm.
And same thing. He was like in school for, I think for music, trumpet or trombone. And he pursued, you know, just cutting lawns, and then he pursued it. He dropped out, and now he's going ham on this stuff.
Sure. Well, to be candid, I am not past the stage of having fear about it. You know, I am anxious about it succeeding. You know, it hasn't been necessarily, you know, all easy. You know, it's been a lot of work. There's been stress, there's been concern and things like that. Like, I really want this to succeed, especially given the fact that I put those guys' names on the side of the truck. So I wouldn't say I'm past the stage of not having fear and anxiety about it. I'm afraid to fail every day. But I'm also like motivated to try to make it work, to try to make a better life for my wife and I, to try to help Bricks out, to have Bricks help me out, to build community with people. You know, that's all part of the gig. So, and it's literally part of the gig for us too. I would be remiss if I didn't mention the welcome table at the Community Connection Center. When my dad was sick, I was looking for a place to cook because I just wasn't in the kitchen. I was making food at home for my folks. And I heard about the welcome table. I went up there and I cooked with them on one Monday. And for those of you that don't know, between 5 and 6:15, the best restaurant in Vermillion is open one day a week on Monday. And it's a free meal, right? Free 99, the best price too. And there's a whole bunch of volunteers up there who are committed to making sure that people in our community feel like they have a spot at the table. And like access like that's really an important thing to us. And so I was volunteering up there. And then when we started to open the food truck, the community supported us in that, up there supported us in that too. We now use that kitchen as our commissary kitchen. So we prep a lot of our stuff up there. So even though it's Bricks and Jackie and I that are mostly doing the heavy lifting for the job, it's like there's a lot of people who are raising us up. There's a lot of people that when I start to get stressed out, how are we going to do this? And there's been a number of people who just jumped in, put together these boxes for us, did, you know, like just like give us a little bit of help. And so, yeah, it's cool in that regard too. It is a whole community project, I like to think.
How do you, with these events, do you just ask and be like, hey, can we do this? Can we do this? And that's it.
It's been a combination of asking and a combination of people reaching out to us now that they've seen what we're up to. We started kind of with people that we knew. You know, I had floated the idea right when we got to Vermillion of doing a food truck around a little bit with a few people, and kind of was like, what would the logistics be? Yeah. But it became clear to me very quickly that it was just not the right time in my life to pursue it. And so when it did become that time, I went back to those folks and I was like, okay, I'm kind of ready now. So like, for instance, the 19 brewery where we've been, every week, either Friday or Saturday, we've been there in the evenings. And, Katie, when she heard we were doing it, she's like, okay, you know, you talked about this a while back. Are you ready to go? And I was like, sure am. So, and so she opened the door for us. And then the Flourish Flower Farm, we just went down there for one of their other events where they had some vendors and we introduced ourselves. And everybody in South Dakota, it seems like, really wants your business to work, from the people that are like giving you the licenses for stuff, you know, the people that are helping you write your business plan, to the people who are looking for, you know, an opportunity to partner with someone. And I do think in Vermillion, there's a lot of places where it's like, it's a natural connection. You know, there's like some bars and pubs and stuff like that that don't have their own food service. And so it's like, there's a good benefit for both of us here. Like if we can get people to come out and eat dinner at 19, and they're definitely going to sample the beer, you know what I mean? Yeah. So it's like, a lot of those natural connections. And then we reached out to Ribs and Rods. We signed up with the Vermillion Chamber of Commerce. They've given us work, for instance, the Thursdays on the Plots when that series was going. And this Oktoberfest job are both connections that they made with us. So I think other people who are pursuing these type of businesses should make sure and go talk to the people at the chamber. They have a vested interest in helping you. And so, yeah, so I think it's just been a combination of asking and people reaching out. And to be honest with you, sometimes I feel like I ask too much and sometimes I feel like I don't ask enough, so I don't know what the balance is.
Yeah, I think that's my problem. I need to ask. And for example, like the stuff that I'm doing, I like it. I enjoy it. It's just it's not even like a side job. It's like a hobby. I just do it for fun. And I was wondering, well, is it possible to like try to make some money and this and that? Luckily, it was in January or January, Carson from the Main Street Inn, they did like a sponsorship, which got me, thanks to them, I got the equipment finally, because I was starting with like a little Bluetooth thing.
Okay.
And it was kind of bad, but it kind of like jumped up. And then same thing, Becky from Winnie Mays gave me something too. And then I was trying to figure out, how do I keep doing this? Because before, I'm not saying this happens all the time now, because before I would reach out and ask people, hey, you want to be on this, isn't that? And most of the time they're like, nah, I'm good. And now it's getting to, not quite there, but it's getting to the point where now there's people reaching out to me, which is kind of cool. I'm like, oh, snap.
Yeah.
And of course I still ask people, and most of them are like, yeah, that's cool. I heard about it. And then I was wondering, man, I want to get like another sponsorship, but how do I do it? And then another guy, and he has a podcast in town. It's, but they do USD sports.
Okay.
And the brewery sponsored them. Okay. And I was like, how do you guys get that? He said, you just ask. You just ask. I'm like, ask? And I was like, well, maybe I should. So I started reaching out. And then when I reached out, there was one that I didn't. His name is Joel from 5 Star Barbershop. So it might be on this episode when I edit it.
Cool.
He said, hey, I want to sponsor you this and that for the month. I'm like, oh, snap, that's cool. And then I reached out to some other people. We'll see what happens next week. But yeah, I think it's that. You just got to ask and reach out.
Yeah, I think and this is a lesson I'm still learning, but I think just like trying to build up the courage to ask someone for something is almost always harder than just like what happens after you give the ask, So most of the time in this venture, people have said yes to us, even if we're asking for something that may be a little bit weird or off the wall. So yeah. But it's 100% true. And I think it's probably true for most people too. It's just, there's something about that, having to go out there and to spread the word and all of that is a challenge,
Yeah. Fear. I think it's fear because people are scared of trying something different, something new, because they don't know what's going to happen, because they don't want to fail. But then you have to fail. You have to fail, because if you fall, then you know what to do. You could, jump back up.
Yep.
And then I think what's worse than fear is like never trying, because then maybe later on you're like, man, I should have tried that. Now it's too late, or this and that. I say it's never too late to try something new. Yeah. But it is that fear. It could be like, for example, with my wife, I'm telling you, she loves the food. I'm like, let's do the thing again.
You should do the thing again. I mean, we could definitely use some good tacos. I mean, there's a couple spots in Vermillion where you can get some decent tacos, but it sounds like she might be onto it. I don't know anyone except for me who's making pozole. And
oh, snap! Yeah, we had to. Myra made some yesterday. No, 2 days ago. She made some red pozole. People know what. Well, I don't want to describe it, but it's a type of, I don't know, how do I say caldo in English?
It's a soup.
There you go, soup.
Yeah.
And it's how she makes it. It's the red ones with pork, and then it has the maíz or mahogany. And then she blends all these different types of chiles. I don't know what she got. She got all that stuff.
You got the guajillos and the pasillas.
There you go. You know it. Okay. How do I describe it?
So we're having an event on D-Days, and fingers crossed, we're still getting final approval for it. But we're hopefully doing an event with the multicultural affairs group at USD for Dakota Days, and we're going to be making a riff on red pozole.
Nice.
We're going to be doing some red pozole, and then we're going to be doing, I think, some cornbread and some other stuff. But so we could use it. That would be really good.
What we do sometimes, we'll make some food, like for example, the tamales. I just like making them. It's just so much fun. And then we'll like hand them out to some people. But yeah, next time I make some tamales, I'm gonna give you guys some. We made the green and the red.
Yeah.
Same thing. It's all, I guess, because people they say, oh, I heard you have to have like a bunch of family members. I think it's because we've done it so much. It's just me and Myra that do it, and then I have I have a daughter. She's learning it too. Funny thing is, so my daughter, people call her Victoria, but I call her Dana. So it's Dana.
Love that.
Because her middle name is Danae. So if people hear that, I know someone say, what does that mean? I'm like, it's just her middle name. I'm just used to calling her Dana. So that's kind of cool.
I love that. Yeah. Yeah, I love that. I always liked being a bit of a boy named Sue. It's good to, I feel like, the gender neutral name or whatever. I've always loved my name. So
it's been cool. So, funny thing is, speaking of names, so my wife is pregnant, and we've been discussing names. We don't know a name. Apparently she doesn't like my names that I'm giving her. I was like, you don't like, I said, so you don't like Goku, Vegeta, Raphael, Leonardo? She's like, Dragon Ball Z characters. I'm like, not the other ones. She's like, are you naming like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles? I know they're like Italian
Renaissance painters.
So yeah, we can't figure out a name at all. So I'm trying to figure that out too.
Yeah. That seems like a challenge. I don't have any children, so I haven't had to go through the struggle of trying to name anything except for this food truck. and we did go through a ton of iterations of that. So I can only imagine how difficult it is to name a little human.
Yeah, it's we'll figure it out. But hey, with the food truck, have you guys ever thought, or would you guys do a restaurant or nah?
Well, one of the things is when you go to culinary school, I feel like the first question everybody asks you is, what's your favorite food to make, And then the second one is, when are you going to open your restaurant, And I always would joke with them as like, whenever I get to $1 million, then I'll open a brick and mortar, But for us, it was just like the investment in a brick and mortar, the number of people you have to have, employees, the size of the operation, it just scales incredibly, and it makes it a much more unwieldy apparatus. Yeah. And for us, I've always liked to be able to be on the move. I always like to be able to work by myself or in collaboration with a small group of people. And honestly, it's just the investment that we were able to make at the time. I think it suits what we're trying to do well. So as of right now, I don't have an aspiration to open a brick and mortar restaurant. Now, down the line, if it becomes obvious to us that we have the resources to do it, and we have the ability to hire the people that we would need to help manage it and things like that, then I think that might be doable. But this is really already about, in some ways, more. We're taking on more than we really even thought we were when we started it. We've had to learn so much stuff from the business side of things to Jackie had to figure out how to run payroll for us, and we figured out how to write a small business loan. We had to, all of these different things, all the different licenses, all that stuff. And then not to mention just having to be able to figure out how to fix water leaks or, all this stuff. So it's just like, there's a million different things, and all of those problems scale up at a restaurant. And so True. I think for the short period of time, at least, or for the foreseeable future, this is our goal. The things I would like to do outside of this are things like, I would like to be able to do some writing at some point, about food. I would like to maybe put together a cookbook or something like that. I would like to talk and teach more about food, things like that. But I don't think running a big restaurant is at the top of the list of the stuff that I would like to be able to to do.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
that's good. You know, slow and steady.
Yeah.
Slow and steady. And I like the food truck ideas. I like the street food stuff. I
Mhm.
like I'm not saying like I'm not a big fan of restaurants. I'll go to them, but I don't know. I mean, I'm just used to it since I was just younger. You know, just go outside and find something. I haven't seen that much around here. Now there is. When I came here 5 years ago, there wasn't that much stuff, and that's why I think Myra had the idea. I was like, hey, why don't you do like this? Not the food truck, but like a food stand, and it popped
Sure.
up. It was real cool. So now there's more popping up. You know, y'all guys. I think Carly's Kitchen pops up. There's a corn dog. So it's going.
Yeah, Carly's Kitchen and the corn dog folks. We've met both of them, and they're both doing cool stuff. And if also just like that's another cool thing. It's like you don't know how people are going to react. You know, when you pull up and it's like, oh well, we're now the second truck at this event. You know, and this person had this market cornered beforehand. What are they going to be like? You know, are they going to be cool or whatever? And literally to a person, everybody has been like, tell us how we can work together. Tell us how we can help you. Tell us if there's anything that any wisdom that we could share with you about where we get products or all that stuff. At Carly was down at the flower farm. We bought lunch from each other, you know, so it's just little stuff like that I think lets people know like, hey, should be enough room for all of us to be here. And honestly, I think Ribs and Rods, if it's an example, is like if 10 food trucks show up and there's enough people there, everybody's going to be able to eat, you know?
Everyone wins.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've been having a hard time trying to get Carly's Kitchen on. Maybe I'm getting the wrong email.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know her through email. We've just talked to her at events and things, but
yeah, because when I contacted for like the Ribs Rods, Michelle gave me the info for like all the vendors, and that's where I just popped them up. Unless I missed her, it's because also last year. So this is the second time we kind of do like a recording. Kind of the first time was very small, and I asked her, and she was like, "No, thank you." It's because it's a brand new thing. And then this year, a lot of people did it. Like, y'all, there was things. Yeah, thanks. It was really fun.
Yeah. I mean, when you contacted me, I was like, hey, I don't, an opportunity to do some media sounds cool. Having a conversation sounds fun, you know? And then it's, we're trying to do whatever we can to let people know we're out here, you know?
Yeah.
Because, we want to be able to put this thing where the people are at, and we want to be able to cook the kind of food that they want to eat. And we want to meet everybody and have it work out. So,
oh yeah, that thing. I think it worked out good according to, I guess, my stats, or if it's accurate, like on Facebook, Reddit, and all that stuff. Like I think that video topped off, if I remember right, altogether, like around. If I remember right, I don't know if it's either 8 or almost 10,000, which, I mean, compared to like big giant, YouTubers, nothing. But I was like, hey, it's just a little small thing. So yeah, and he reached out to a bunch of people around South Dakota. I had someone say, hey, I didn't know about the Ribs Rods. When is it? And this and that. Well, blah, 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 blah. So that's fun.
Yeah, all of the locals talked about how big of an event it used to be, and then they said it went through a lull. Well, I think that lull probably coincided a little bit with COVID and stuff like that. Maybe, I don't know all of the details because I was not a Vermillionaire at that point. But yeah, I think hopefully all this stuff can keep coming back. We could create an excellent local food scene. That would be awesome for everyone. So
see, I think this is how I saw it when I was here. When I got here, we'll say that I got here around COVID, but a little after, I was like, "How come you got a college campus? The downtown, it should be booming with like a bunch of street vendors or food trucks, this and that." And I haven't seen it like around a whole entire night. But that's what I was wondering. I was like, how come there's not like a bunch of other food options? But now it's starting to get there now. Yeah. Slowly. Pop, 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 pop.
We're trying to figure out that still like the easiest doors of access were the businesses who just said, you want to collaborate with us. Those were the first doors we knocked down. And so we've been doing a lot of that type of business. And now the next area we want to get to is we want to be able to find that 11 to 2 o'clock bar crowd, like put us on those young people after they're, they need a little something to soak up what they were drinking and all that. And, So I think hopefully we can figure that out, and get the late night options back. Our pizza, I think, used to kind of fill that role a little bit. And then
I heard about that.
they're obviously went through some ownership changes and all of that. And so that's just, I think, a struggle with restaurants too. There's a lot of turnover all the time. So
yeah, we'll see what happens on that. But hey, so Data,
mm-hmm.
so when you're not doing y'all's food stuff, what else do you do? Like, what do you do for fun?
I have two, well, I'm married. My wife, Jackie, is also my best friend. So, try to hang out with her as much as I can. This has forced us together in a different type of way in terms of a business relationship. But we like to do things like walk our dogs. We like to go out to Spirit Mound and walk our dogs and things like that. I like to play games of all kinds. I'm like a card player type. I like.
Do you play Magic?
I play Magic the Gathering from a long time back. I don't play all the formats anymore, but I can still draft some packs. I'm still pretty dangerous. So I at various times have played poker and stuff like that. But a lot of times now I will just check in with that stuff. I really like, so I'll check out what people are doing in poker. I like watching chess and things like that. So strategy stuff interests me. I play fantasy football right now and have a league that I've been playing with the same group of guys for like 5 or 6 years. And then, I also like Pokemon. If you can't tell, I'm wearing this shirt here. You got to eat them all. The duck and cat. These are some of our staple menu items that we turned into Pokemon characters. So, yeah, I mean, Bricks buys and sells Pokemon cards. Like,
snap.
Yeah.
Snap.
So I mean, we're just out here doing stuff. For a while, I worked in comic book store. I like to read a lot. I collected action figures for a long time. I used to break apart action figures and put them back together with miscellaneous parts, resculpt heads and stuff like that. So into the arts, like I said, like I think all of the people that work on the truck in some way are creatives. So yeah, I try to stay busy, but more and more recently it's been related to the truck. I would also say probably my number one favorite activity as a leisure time activity is to have other people cook for me. I love going to restaurants and all kinds too. I've had the privilege of being to like some crazy restaurants, like 3-star restaurants and stuff like that. So I went to the French Laundry with my old high school debate partner. He's done very well for himself, and so he took Jackie and I out there to go for a trip and to go eat at the French Laundry, which was like magical experience. And then, all the way from that to like my favorite taco truck in Omaha, Alley Taco, which is just in the back of some folks' house. And
that's the best ones.
If you go back there, I'm telling you, they got fire like you can't believe, dude. So yeah. And that's the thing about food that's great too. It's like, the best meal I had wasn't at the French Laundry, probably, that definitely is the most memorable experience I've had of that kind of thing. Uh-huh. But, there's charm to all of it. There's yeah.
You want to hear a tamale story?
Sure.
So this was a while back, a few years ago, like around December. So over there in Sioux City, there's a place called El Arco Iris. It means a rainbow. It's just like a Mexican supermarket. So around nighttime, we get there. It's like, I think we went there on Friday. There's this lady. So she's right next to the door. And I see her like, when people are walking by, she's kind of like leaning in and saying something. I'm like, she's probably just, trying to sell drugs or something. So I was telling Myra, I was like, just ignore when we walk in. And then we walk in and she leans next to me and she's like, you want to buy some tamales? I'm like, what? I'm like, what? And I'm like, no, thank you, no gracias. And I'm like, what? She's selling tamales? It looks like a drug dealer because she has like a hoodie. She had like a red hoodie and everything. And then she's asking some people, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna get some tamales. So I go up to her, And it looks so awkward because I have a jacket, she has a hoodie. We kind of go over there and it looks like we're making a drug deal. And I'm like, hey, can I have some like half a dozen? She's like, red or green? Yeah. I'm surprised she didn't like show it.
Yeah.
And I was telling her, just give me a 3 and 3. And she takes me to her van. So she could take me to the parking lot and she opens up the trunk. I'm like, oh, what's going on?
Yeah, you can reliably buy some good tamales out the back of a van in Omaha. I know that.
She pulls her cooler out and then she opens it. I'm like, man, it's only tamales. And then she gives it to me and then, I give her the money. And it looks like if you were just outside watching, it looks like I'm doing something. But yeah, these tamales, they were bombing. And then I went back and got some more. I was like, huh.
Yeah.
All of that in the back of a cooler.
Yeah, I think that's it, right? It's like, you don't know where that stuff is coming from, but you know, obviously whoever made those loved them and cared about them and passed it on to you. And I think that's real cool. Yeah. I think you got to be open to finding those spots. Like some of the best Mexican food I've had in Omaha is like wandered into some garage somewhere and somebody had a Blackstone in there and it was like, oh, okay, we're having lunch, you know? So yeah, we used to, during COVID, I drove a van for food relief. So we took meals around to the community. So, and CSA boxes, fresh produce and all that stuff. And so we would kind of go street by street through Omaha. And so I had an opportunity to just drive by a lot of places and just be like, okay, well, what's that? You know, and then eventually, okay, we're going to stop there today and walk in and see what we find. And finding the hole in the wall is a whole fun adventure, I think.
Yeah, I feel that. So going back to the Pokemon stuff, because I'm also a big fan of Pokemon.
Yeah.
Are you guys mostly into like just the cards, the show, the video games, or how hardcore are you guys into it?
Well, first of all, I was a debate coach, and I was actually Brix's debate coach, and so when I was talking about Brix about their educational history and all of that, they had a really pretty tough time in school during parts of their career. And Brix just told me straight up, I learned to read by playing Pokemon on Game Boy, you know? And I was like, for real? And they were like, yeah, for real. That's true. And so I was like, well, maybe there's more to this. And then I look around and then all of the children are playing Pokemon on their devices. And so it was like, well, I guess we're going to have to figure this out. And my deal was I wanted to play the card game because I was a Magic player. So I was like, show me the card game. Let me see the strategy. They were oftentimes more interested in trading and reselling and or chasing some full set, that kind of stuff. But I liked the gameplay itself. So I made a point of trying to beat up on all of them as bad as I could in the card game, and so we just kind of developed. It just kind of developed where there was a group of people who were doing it. We got into it. It related to some other activities I had, so it gave me a point of connection with people that I was trying to have a point of connection with, and that's how stuff goes, you know. So when it came time to like decide what merch we wanted to have, you know, and put up on our store and all that, and we were like, well, we got to have a Pokemon shirt. It's like part of our origin story, you know. So you can go to the duckandcat.com and get one of these bad boys right here. You got to eat them all, and but yeah, today I more watch Brix interact with Pokemon than I do too much of it myself. But if the Pokemon World Championships is on, I'll probably tune in and see what people are doing. And I get enough third-party information where I know like what are the cool new cards and see what they're trading for at these ridiculous prices now and all that. But it's crazy to think like something as simple as a Pokemon is like the largest media brand in the world, you know? Man,
so with Pokemon, I've talked about it in like many episodes. So I'm more into the video game.
Okay.
I watch like the championship and I go into it like there's a simulator too where people practice called it's on Smogon and Pokemon Showdown. And that's where the professionals, well, they are professionals. That's where they're, I know the EV training, IV trading, the breeding, this and that, the natures, all that.
Yeah.
And then sometimes when was it last week? I was talking to Myra about it. I'm like, babe, I'm like, a bunch of our friends, they'll go mow the yard. Maybe some will head to the bar with their friends, or they're going watching the game, this and that. I'm on the TV or on my phone watching the World Pokemon or the championship. What am I doing? But you know what? I like it.
Yeah.
That's what I do.
No, you think about everybody has stuff like that. It's like, think about all the people who are football fans and they can name everybody in the NFL, three positions down the depth chart and all that kind of thing. It's the same thing. It's like, yeah, I've got a lot of Magic cards in my head. I got a lot of Pokemon cards memorized in my head. Is that junk? I don't think so. It's like a way that I interact with my friends, is a way that I talk to people, and so, yeah, I mean, I think that's cool, and whatever it is that excites you, that gets your blood pumping, that gets you to go out and to meet other people. That's just good stuff, I think, So yeah, I mean, I spend too much time on Twitch and YouTube watching card games too, I think it's okay. And if it's not, somebody's going to have to come stop me.
Did you ever do like Yu-Gi-Oh, or is it Hearthstone?
I played Hearthstone. I played Hearthstone a little bit, even on a local competitive team. I was a legend in Hearthstone, so I went ahead and maxed out the game as it was. And then, it just got to a point where, the Magic as a card game just is more interesting to me than Hearthstone was. And so I just, started to gravitate back towards playing more Magic again, but had a lot of fun playing Hearthstone too. Yeah.
Sweet. No Yu-Gi-Oh?
No Yu-Gi-Oh, never played Yu-Gi-Oh. So, I mean, I watched the cartoon a little bit, so I know that I could have a trap card sprung on me and stuff like that, but I couldn't pick up and play a Yu-Gi-Oh deck. No.
No, don't jump into it. That community is a little toxic sometimes.
Oh, really?
Yeah. No, I remember because I remember the OG one with Yu-Gi-Oh, and then I was watching because it was on Netflix, so I was watching the show again, and I was like, oh yeah, okay, let me try to, I guess, look at YouTube and see the community. And apparently I missed a lot. So there's normal summons, you sacrifice, whatever monsters and blah, blah, blah. And I remember they had fusion summons. Oh no, ritual summons. And then they have fusions. Mm-hmm. Now they got something called, there's pendulum, there's XYZ, they got synchro, and they got all that stuff. I'm like, whoa, man, I am way off.
It does feel like that a little bit, I think, with any game like that, where but if you take a break and come back, you're like, oh man, we got a whole lot of stuff going on. But I don't know, there's also something cool about that. Games have to grow and evolve and change, or they can get stale unless they're a truly great game, like chess and poker and games like that, where it's the 52 cards are the same, you're not playing the cards, you're playing a person. And so I think some amount of stuff like that, and that's true in Magic too. And I'm sure it's also true in Yu-Gi-Oh, but, yeah, I mean, there's so many mechanics in Magic the Gathering now where it's just there's a lot of stuff going on, they are not simple games anymore. Well, it's I think it's like that with video games too. Back in the day, it was A, B, select, start, and those were the buttons, you got a D-pad, and now it's
RB. Got its triggers. Man, don't get me into this video game. Did you know?
I'm too old to operate in 3-dimensional space on a video game. That's what I know. If you try to have me play a first-person shooter, I definitely show my age.
So last week, I follow the video. Man, I follow all this stuff. Man, I should be doing something else. No, but I like it. So last week they announced Microsoft with their Xbox. So I've never seen this in my life. Usually when there's a console, any console generation each year or whatever years, it usually drops in price. This is the second time they raised their price on the Xbox on Series X and S. So the Series X, when it came out, I think it was 2020 or 2019, around there. It was $500, Series X. And then this year, they rose the price up. I forgot how much. I don't know if it was $175, something like that. Now they're raising it up again. So now it's $650. I'm like, whoa, I've never seen that happen. And then Nintendo with their Switch 2, they rose their games up, or some of them, to $80, which that is, I've never seen that happen. And now I'm like, man, this is, I don't know. I could ramble on that, but there's
just a lot of money in that stuff. You know, there's a lot of people playing those video games. And so I guess they have the ability to charge it. I mean, I don't know. That's capitalism running amok.
Yeah, but man, I could go on that. But I see we're reaching that hour mark. I need to like cut it now. But where can people find you guys at?
Yeah. Can I talk to you about this food real quick before? I just want to. So to be fully candid, y'all, when they interviewed me at Ribs, Rods, and Rock and Roll, it was during the dinner rush period, and I was a bit scrambled, and so I had these guys come to the truck. They interviewed me, and I sent them out without food, which is like a cardinal sin. It is a cardinal sin for me. Like, my one role in life, I feel like, is to make sure people eat. And so, first of all, I apologize.
No worries about it.
Yeah. And anytime you come back. But so anyway, I wanted to bring something today, so I didn't leave with you empty handed. So this example is something that we would do. This was for the Flourish Flower Farm, but it's got some of our favorites in here. So this is a little snack box. It's got some fire roasted eggplant dip. This is called baba ganoush. And this is an example of the connection with the farmers. So Arbar Farms, we bought the eggplant from them, all the vegetables in the crudité, tomatoes, peppers, green beans, celery, carrots, all from Arbar Farms. You got a little breakfast section here. So you got a hard-boiled farm egg from Arbar Farms. You got Heritage Berkshire pork. If you don't know about pork, like the way that the pork you get from a supermarket is raised is so different than the way this pork is raised, and just like all you have to do is taste it to figure out the difference, the like quality of the fat, all of that stuff. So that's a heritage breed pig. And then you got some candied walnuts and cranberries. You got a bunch of pickled stuff here, pepperoncinis, capers. You got some cheese curds. And then I think the favorite item we made is this little trail mix here. We took puffed wild rice, which is like a core ingredient for me. The first cooking job I had, or big catering job I had in Vermillion, was for Chef Sean Sherman. I don't know if you know who he is. They call him the sous chef. He's a Lakota, and he was named one of Time's 100 most important people for the concept of decolonizing food. And so when I got to feed him, one of the things we did was we made this wild rice dish. And so wild rice became something that I wanted to keep coming back to. And so this is wild rice, pumpkin seeds, sunflower seeds, maple syrup, a whole bunch of herbs. And it's just like super addictive, really good to eat. And then some desserts in the middle, some sauteed dates and chocolate. So yeah. So I think it's just, a cool thing. And I wanted to make sure and say publicly, I apologize for not feeding you.
No worries.
And that's one for you and one for your wife there.
Oh, sure.
And
love
so,
it.
yeah.
Thank you.
There is an expected return of tacos.
All right. I'm down with that.
Yeah.
Sweet.
In terms of where you can find us, the most important thing is to include the word "the" in front of Duck and Cat. So it's theduckandcat.com. All of our social media is the Duck and Cat on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. Our email address is info@theduckandcat. And then if you're interested in stuff like where we're going to be, things like that, that's all on the website. And we also have our online merchandise store is on the website. So if you want to get this cool Pokemon t-shirt, if you want to get a hat with our logo on it, which my wife designed and we think is pretty cool. We got aprons, we got hoodies, we got t-shirts, all kinds of stuff. You can find us there. It's also got a calendar that shows where our public events are going to be. But we're also trying to let people know about that on Instagram and all those places too. And then the truck, if you see us, it's got a big duck and a cat on the side of it. duck and a catfish on the side of it. And so if you see us around, just don't hesitate to stop up and say hi. you don't have to buy something to come say hello, you know. Yeah, we would love to meet everybody.
Cool. I'll put that in the description. But yeah, no, I want to thank you guys so much.
Yeah, thanks for having us. This was a fun conversation, and hopefully at some point we can get Bricks on. And yeah, Bricks is probably a more entertaining person than I am. So, yeah, thanks for helping us out. Thanks for helping spread the word. And yeah, we appreciate your kindness.
Cool. Will do.